everyone. Today I am going to discuss about with you is anatomy of the nervous system. So first we have to go with the introduction part. So what is a nervous system? What its functions? What are the classification? Nervous system is which is the major responsible for the judgment, intelligence and our memory. And nervous system is the chief controlling and coordinating system of our body and sensory part of the nervous system which collects the information and gaining the knowledge and experiences. According to that, the motor nervous system which is the responsible for responses of the body. Taking as an example, मेरा हाथ ना हॉट वाटर में डालती, तब मुझे लगता ये हॉट है बोल के मैं क्या करती, उसी से मेरा हाथ बाहर निकलते. इसमें क्या होता, वॉट एवर द सेंस और नॉलेज आई हैव गेन्ड, इट इज़ अ हॉट. दैट सेंस और knowledge what I have gained now, that is the sensory nervous system. According to that, when I have removed my hand from that hot water, that movement is called now, that is the motor nervous system. So this is the major function of the our nervous system. And in our human adult brain have the more than 200 billion of a neuron. This is all about the introduction of the nervous system. Now we have to move to the classification of the nervous system. Classification of the nervous system. It is divided into two major parts. First one is by anatomically and another one is functionally. Anatomically we are further divided into CNS and PNS. CNS is central nervous system, PNS peripheral nervous system. In CNS again we have comes to the two major parts. First one is the brain and another is spinal cord. In PNS there are two parts again. First one is the 12 pairs of the cranial nerves and another is 31 pairs of the spinal nerves. This is about the anatomically. Then comes to the functional. In functional again we have divided into two parts. First one is afferent, another one is efferent. Afferent means it is the information, whatever the knowledge or sensory information we collected from our body, that it will pass us to the CNS. This is the afferent. According to that, whatever the motor information we passes from the CNS, that is the efferent nervous system. In efferent nervous system again we have divided it into two parts. First one is the somatic and another one is autonomic. This is all about the classification. We have to discuss about this classification separate one by one. The classification of the nervous system. First we will move to the anatomical nervous system. In anatomically, we have divided into CNS and PNS. CNS has the brain and spinal cord. CNS is the main seat for the learning, intelligence, memory and emotions. And PNS has the 12 pairs of the cranial nerves and 31 pairs of the spinal nerves. It provides the efferent impulses to the CNS and carries the efferent impulses to the muscles, glands and vessels. Functionally, afferent and efferent. Afferent क्या करते? It provides the sensory information to the CNS. Whatever the senses we have gained or whatever the knowledge we are heard, that all it will pass us to the CNS. According to the CNS, again we have discussed in the PNS na, that is only same function for here also. Efferent क्या करते? It takes back to the efferent impulses from the CNS. Then again it divided into somatic and autonomic. In somatic, it is for the skeletal muscles, and autonomic nervous system for heart or organ muscles, glands and blood vessels, like heart movements and glands working, hormone releases, blood vessels. If we do not do any actions also, it will do its function. So this is the autonomic. But in skeleton, whatever the message we have get now, according to that we will move our body. This is skeletal muscle. So because of this function, it is voluntary. By our action it will move our body organs. But it is not like that. Heart movements and all comes under in the autonomic nervous system. We will move to the classification of the neurons. Each neuron is made up of a cell body and numerous cell processes of two varieties of axon and dendrites. Then classification of the neurons. according to their number of their process, according to the length of axon, according to the function. In according to their processes, there are four types. First one is the multipolar neurons, bipolar neurons, pseudopolar unipolar neurons and unipolar neurons. According to the length of the axon, there are again divided into two types. First one is the Golgi type and Golgi type 2. In Golgi type 1, it have a long axons and they are used to move a signal over a long distances. But in Golgi type 2, it is a short and confused with the dendrite. According to the function, two types, sensory and motor neurons, again further divided into, in sensory, there are further divided into three types. First one is primary, secondary and tertiary. Primary sensory neurons are present in the dorsal root of the ganglion of the spinal nerve. And secondary sensory neuron is present in the grey matter of the spinal cord in the brain stem. And tertiary sensory neuron present in the thalamus. Again, in motor, further divided into somatic and autonomic. Somatic, in upper part, it is situated in the motor area of the brain, and lower, it is situated in the cranial nerve, nuclei and anterior horn of the spinal cord. Autonomic, there are again two types. First one is a preganglionic neurons in CNS and again post-ganglionic neurons in the sympathetic chain.